Similar figures, proportions, levels 1, 2, and 3. Set up and solve a proportion. Use the properties of equality. Do not skip steps. Box final answer. So I'm going to give you an example for level 3, although I don't think it's that hard. Quadrilateral GHIJ is similar to quadrilateral KLMN. Find the measure of side MN. So ultimately, that's what we're putting in for the box. Round your answer to the nearest tenth if necessary. Figures are not drawn to scale. So I'm going to go ahead and capture this diagram. Actually, let me capture it slightly differently. Let me capture it one at a time so then I can kind of show exactly what's happening here. So here are the two figures. And so it looks to me like this one, you could simply rotate it 90 degrees counterclockwise. Or if you left that in the original position, then you could rotate this 90 degrees clockwise. And then you can clearly see that those are corresponding. I'm going to err on the side of caution, and I'm going to pretend that maybe it's a little bit harder for you to visually see what's going on. So I'm going to leave the figures the way that they are. And I'm going to show you another way that you can figure it out. So the first thing I want to go ahead and do is I'm just going to go ahead and name this one here. So they called this GHIJ. So GHI and then J. And that's like a quadrilateral. So we'll put a quadrilateral. This squiggly here, this stands for similar to triangle. Now the order I said was important before. So G corresponds with K. And then we said that H, that's the second letter, will correspond with L. That's the second letter. I, which is the third one, would correspond with M. And lastly, the letter J would correspond with N. So if you can't see what's going on, you could write this similarity statement, and then you could go ahead and set things up. And this is what I mean by set it up. So what I want to do is I want to find out JG. So notice that J to G right here. And I can draw this arrow, and the length of J to G is 17. So the side that would correspond to JG in this figure would be the same order, and it would be N to K. So then I simply look from N to K, and it looks like N to K is 56. So 17 and 56, those correspond. Let me go ahead and switch over to blue now. The next side, let's see, I've got J to G. Let's do I to J. So I need to do I to J or J to I, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go from I to J. So I to J. And the length from I to J is 11. So if I go from I to J, I would have to go from M to N. And again, you don't have to draw these arrows. This becomes pretty commonplace over time. So going from M to N, I have a length of X. And now you can set up whatever you want. Just remember that you set up the proportion appropriately. So I'm going to go ahead and put my equal sign. I'm going to give myself a fraction. And we just have to decide, do we want to do 17 over 11 or 11 over 17? And if you want to do 17 over 11, then you do 56 over X. Whereas if you wanted to do 11 over X, you'd have to do 17 over 56. I'm just going to do it as I see it. 17 over 11. So 17 over 11 would be the same as 56 over X. And then we'll use cross products. So 17 and X would give us 17X. I can get a better 17 than that. 17X. And then 56 times 11. Oh, jeepers. What's 56 times 11? All right, let's see. 56 times 11, 616. And then we'll divide by 17 on each side. And X is going to be equal to 36.23, and then it's probably going to continue on for a little bit further. But I'm going to go ahead and stop at the hundredths because I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, which means that when I look to the right, that's a 3, I round down. So my final answer is, and again, this is just approximately 36.2, and that's how I'm going to set it in here. So again, you saw clearly when I started this problem, all I did is I simply rotated this figure to set up the corresponding sides. Then from there you can do the proportion. Or the alternative, if you struggle with seeing exactly what's happening in the picture, is just to set up one similarity statement and set it up in the same order as the next similarity statement. Mark your numbers, kind of like I've marked them the numbers here, set up your proportion and solve. And that's pretty much it. Doesn't get any harder than that. But of course, if you need help, let me know. And let's plug it in and see how we did. 36.2. We're good to go. Let's see what delta math. So it looks like they set it up as a similarity statement to GHIJ. They set that up, and then they did KLMN. Kind of did the same deal. Personally, I think this is a little bit easier, but yeah, this might be easier for you. If you want to take a closer look, just pause the video and kind of see what delta math does there.